Yeah, we're on. Okay. I'll call the meeting to order. If everybody please rise for a moment of silence while we pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to drop down to citizens' comments. We have Joe Bennett that wants to speak to council. Just remember, he's not on the agenda, so
Okay.
we're just here to listen.
Mayor Richardson, council, thank you so much for accommodating me tonight. In January of 2020, Tarrant Appraisal District Board Member Richard Diott requested from TAD the number of protests heard by the ARB from the years of 2013 to 2019. He also gathered the same information from 4 other large appraisal districts. Mr. Diott then presented this comparison to the Senate Committee on Finance chaired by Senator Nelson on February 25th of 2020. This presentation, as an invited guest of Senator Hancock, prompted Senator Nelson to send a letter to the Board of Directors of Tarrant Appraisal District on the 30th of April of 2020, which I believe Ms. Parks passed out to you. Thank you very much. The letter requests investigating the software used by the district, see if it's playing a role in the increased number of protests in relation to other major metropolitan counties. This letter was suppressed by the district by not distributing the letter to each board member, which was received on May 11th of 2020 by the district. The letter was placed, though, in the agenda packet for the June 5th BOD meeting, almost 3 weeks later, but not to the agenda packet online to the public. During the June 5th meeting, the letter was not allowed to be discussed. On the agenda was an action item to move forward with audit services to investigate the software. This action item passed 3-2. This is where the wheels came off. This is where it all fell apart. Soon after this meeting, 2 members asked to be recalled. Instead of just resigning from the board, they asked their voting block to recall them. Each sent a letter to the respective voting block to be recalled. John Molyneux was the 3rd yes vote, and Michael Donnell was the board chair. Well, I sued the district, the appraisal district, each board member and 8 taxing units for this misuse of the recall statute in the 396 District Court. This recall request was so the taxing entities could control the process. If each member had just resigned, that all the nominations from all the taxing entities that voted for them would have went to the remaining board for choice. That way the smaller entity gets a spot at the table instead of Arlington ISD of 435 votes, just supplanting one for another. This vacuum in leadership, though, was ignored by the chief appraiser, Mr. Jeff Law. Mr. Law ignored a request by 2 board members for an immediate meeting so a chair may be appointed. These 2 board members were Mr. Richard Diott and Mr. Gary Lasada. They also were joined by a majority of taxing entities to no avail. Senator Nelson's letter needed to be addressed in a timely fashion by the board. To this day, Senator Nelson's letter has not been addressed by the Tarrant Board of Directors for TAD. 16 months has passed. This, in my opinion, is by design. This arrogance is apportioned to the chief appraiser, Mr. Law, and to the current BOD chair, Ms. Catherine Wildman. I want to thank you for your time and have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have any other citizens' comments?
Could we get a copy of your speech, sir?
Well, I could email.
Okay,
Yeah, his email.
I gotta be at West Worth by 7.
that's fine. That's fine. As long as, thank you, sir.
Here, sir. My card.
Okay, so we'll go back up to consent agenda. Item A is financial reports, July 2021. Entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Have any discussion? Have anything, Sue? Would you poll the council?
Okay, place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
New business, approved resolution 2021-08-01. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, approving a negotiated settlement between the Atmos City Steering Committee, ACSC, and Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-Tex Division regarding the company's 2021 rate review mechanism filing, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustments consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the attached settlement tariffs to be just and reasonable and in the public interest, approving an attached exhibit establishing a benchmark for pensions and retiree medical benefits, approving an attached exhibit regarding amortization of regulatory liability, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate-making expenses, determine that this resolution was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Open Meetings Act, adopting a savings clause, declaring an effective date, and requiring delivery of the resolution to the company and the ACSC's legal counsel. Item number 21157.
Good
I'm
job.
gonna have to get Mindy to start reading these things. This is an action item? It's an action item?
I'm sorry, yes, this is an action
Okay,
item, yes.
so I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 21157 as read.
Second,
You don't want to read it?
No. You did,
as read.
yeah, you did really good.
Do we have any other discussion? Full council?
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five.
Aye.
Place six,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 2, approve the appointment of Suzanne Helgeson as the Assistant and Acting City Manager in accordance with the City of Everman Home Rule Charter, Section 5.02. This is item 21152. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve item 21152 as read.
Second.
Who seconded?
We got a duel here.
Okay.
Whoever.
Any other discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 3, approve the City of Everman mental health leave policy as proposed by Human Resources, item 21153.
I'll make a motion to approve 21153.
Second. Oh, go ahead, Linda.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Does this also include the new, program that you discussed last week?
So that program will supplement this policy, yes.
Okay.
That benefit policy will get approved and enacted in October. This policy must be adopted by September 1st in accordance with the legislation. And the catch here with this policy, just to remind everybody, is the legal requirement is to only supply this policy to police officers. My recommendation is we afford this policy to both police and fire, because I feel they both respond to the same type of incidents.
And it's already in the budget, right?
It'll be another leave. I mean, it's not, we build that up as a liability,
Yes.
not within the actual budget numbers. So it'll be
Okay.
carried just like a liability, like vacation time, pension
Okay,
time, those
okay.
sorts of things, other PTO.
Any other discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 4, approve the City of Everman public information policy as proposed by the city secretary, item 21154. Entertain a motion.
I move we approve item 21154 as read.
Second. Go ahead.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
What is the turnaround time? Was it said 10 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it, as far as, producing, is it documents or?
So it depends. The timeline for a response to an open records request is 10 days. That response can either be a reset of the clock, like asking for reclarification of documents or those sorts of things. Or informing them that if they have such a broad request, like if somebody submitted a request that was just so broad, it was going to take us months to gather that data. We would inform them of the timeline to expect the record and then inform them of the costs associated with it and find out if they want us to proceed. Typically, most open records requests, when you say, are pretty basic. Basic open records requests that we could fulfill within just a couple days.
But some of them do get pretty intricate or can,
We occasionally,
especially if it's something that's, you have to start digging into old records.
And what is the normal cost?
if it's in accordance with this policy, if it's less than $10, we don't charge. We won't charge for anything less than $10. We normally don't charge anything for most of our open records requests. If we do have to charge, it's usually because of like a police officer, body camera, or dash camera that's been requested. And we charge them essentially the fee it costs for the device that it's on, whether it be a DVD or a flash drive.
Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 5, approve the City of Everman credit card policy as proposed by the finance director, item 21155. Entertain a motion.
I move we approve item 21155 as read.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I only have one question. These cards, how many cards do we actually have? As far as employees have
There are 7 cards.
7? Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay.
Any further discussion?
Is this for just travel, gas, or what?
Most directors have cards and they'll utilize them for urgent purchases, Home Depot, regular supplies, those kinds of things that we wouldn't normally get an invoice for, something that they need right away. That's normally what the card's used for. They do get used for training and travel as well. But the majority of the use is just regular operations, obtaining items that we don't normally get invoiced for.
And some monthly recurring charges, like things with the computer, like software packages and stuff like that.
Okay, now for us travel, is it pre-approved by management for travel?
They have to have any travel expense pre-approved before they can go. And there has to be enough within that travel schools and training budget. That's the budget line item within each department we base that off of. So a member would submit a request to go to a class and we would either approve or deny based off available funds, and then they would utilize the card. They also utilize the card for per diem, which also falls underneath that travel schools and training budget item.
Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, so this one is a discussion item. Consideration of a street name within the new Hannah Ranch HOA development, item 21156.
Mhm.
We need to go and make a motion on this.
No, because there's not a motion to be had just yet. So I was corrected from the developer. The developer is the one who wanted to name it Parango Way when he heard about the officer. So that's just something that we're just asking council to approve. However, to your point, Ms. Mackey, the mayor and I have had some conversations, and We do agree it's a rare opportunity to be able to honor prominent citizens within Everman in that fashion. And we'd like to come up with a way to be able to do that. We have with the new Civic Center, we have a small stretch of road that's going to connect these two that we'd like to name. And then we can also name, very similar to how Pee Wee Walker Boulevard is named, name honorary roads as well. So we can add an additional road, get a nice sign to put up there to honor prominent citizens. I think that's a good point. I think it's important to do that. And it's hard to pick just one because how often do we get new streets?
Really?
But we would be somewhat limitless with being able to honor others in a fashion. I looked at the city of Arlington. They have some very nice signs that they do on some of their roadways to honor not just police, but other civilian servants and things that have worked within the city and civic servants. So I think that's a good thing that maybe we should pursue.
Okay.
Do you have a connection over in Arlington where maybe you can get their
Template or their,
well, yeah, their rules on how those are,
Yeah.
because we got to have some guidelines in place.
yeah, and actually TxDOT has rules about it too. And we can pull
Yes.
TxDOT's rules about naming highways after certain folks and maybe follow some of those guidelines on how they do that. Because, there's certain stretches of 35 that are named after different folks, like Tom Landry and other stretches, Chris Kyle. So I think doing something similar like that would be a great thing to do.
Chris Taylor, a highway patrol officer.
Yep. So I think, I want to pursue that. I think that's a great thing. 'Cause there were some good names that were brought up that I think we should pursue that with.
Like, 'cause we also had a military person too. Some years ago, a younger
Here at Everman?
person, yes.
Okay.
Well, you're thinking of Dustin Waitman.
Yeah, that might be right.
It was, 'cause I know the family, so, but or Dustin. Well, one of the Waitman boys, I think it was Dustin Waitman. He
How do you
was
spell that last name?
WAKEMAN.
Wait, okay, good. Okay,
So. Okay. So then okay. The motion would be to, this one had some specifics, didn't it?
This one, yeah, the motion just needs to pretty much just state, make a motion that we name the new available street within the Hannah Ranch HOA development, Arango Way. Is all
okay,
the
this is a
motion.
consideration. Can we change it to,
We can ask, but I don't think the developer is the one that wanted to name it Arango
So
Way.
basically, he's gonna name it that no matter what, huh?
That's what they put on the
So
plat.
why would we have to even make a motion or anything for that, since they're gonna do it?
Technically, we don't.
well,
Yeah.
but my point is, it says consideration. So on something on an agenda that doesn't say approve, it says consideration.
Yeah,
Are we legal in, never mind that they've already made up their mind. I'm just going with a technicality.
Mhm.
It says consideration. So are we legal? Would we have been legal to change it to an approval? Mindy,
It's,
I mean, I could approve on everything, so I mean.
This
and you're
says-
gonna have to
this says
forgive me.
consideration.
I thought I made a pretty good city secretary, but Madam Secretary here has surpassed me beyond belief and proven that to me with some of the technical errors on this agenda, so I apologize.
okay,
I really did try,
okay.
but I don't
but-
meet Mindy's specs there, I can
So
assure
we
you.
don't
I
need to
agree.
make a
I
motion.
agree with,
But my question stands.
yes, I agree with what she says. It would need to say approve.
Right, but it says consideration. So
Right.
because it says consideration, we could not
Yeah.
make a motion to blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Is that
That's-
correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we would have to move it to the next to get the approval correct on the agenda. Okay, I'm just nitpicking because I'm learning. That's why. Okay,
It kind of sounded like the only leeway we would have, if we wanted to change it from Arango Way to something else, Alex Arango or something along those same lines, was on the flexibility we have, and that'd be about it. So,
well, hey, they're gonna name it Arango.
yeah.
No big deal. Okay, cool.
But I agree with you. They should have just did it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're not
And tell
approving the
us,
rest of the street.
we-
so-
They don't have to
are-
approve it, they're gonna do it anyway,
Yeah,
so.
So what do we need to do on that one, Craig?
Nothing, we can just move on and I can bring back the ideas on the alternate street names and things that you brought up and a plan there.
Yep.
And bring that back to council next month if you'd like to do that.
cool.
Yeah,
And then think about maybe what sections of road that we'd like to do that on. if there are any particular sections that you think would be good for that. And I think this new drive, because this will be a private drive. This will not be an actual roadway. It'll be a private drive, but I still think naming that would be.
Yeah,
appropriate.
yeah.
So we'll have that one coming in as well.
But that's like the drive with Johnson Park on the west side.
That one
Van
is,
Mile? No,
No,
the
the
little
west
bitty
side.
piece,
Yeah,
yes.
we
yes.
call
We could actually name
we
that.
call it Park Road. That's just what we call it.
But that may not be
It's, yeah, we
a
can,
physical name.
we
so.
can name that stretch and
That's
any other
cool.
stretch
But
of
at the
road.
same time, we don't want every street in the city to have one of these names. on
Right,
it.
right. We
just-
need to
We
be
need to be very
circumspect
selective.
about it.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
Well, thank you for taking that idea and running with it.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
we don't need to vote. I was gonna say, did we vote? Never mind.
so next item 7, approved job description for the position of Director of Economic Development, item 21159. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve 21159 as read.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
The only thing I want to add is based off the guidance and the things that we've talked about, there is an addition in this job description that most of our, well, none of our other job descriptions have, and that is a remote work statement that provides guidelines to the remote working. So he'll still be required to work 5 days a week, but he'll be permitted, unless otherwise needed, to work those 2 days a week from home. And there's guidance on how that follows. The city of Everman does not have a remote working policy. HR is working on developing a policy to adopt, not just for this instance, but any other employee that wants to work.
Yeah, we need
or
one.
I shouldn't say wants. to work from home.
Yeah.
Any other employee that needs to work from
Yes.
home. We didn't have a policy like that during COVID when we were shut down, and we were pretty much regulating that by memo.
Yeah.
Which was fine, but we should have a policy in place on how remote working works.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Good idea.
Because we've also had it before. I'll give you a prime example. We had a utility billing clerk who had some family emergencies arise, and she needed to be able to work from home to be able to keep her job. And I allowed her to do that because we had the ability to do that at the
Yeah.
time, but we didn't have a policy regulating that. And those instances may arise. They may arise for any member. So
Well,
I
and
think
we're set up for it. So,
having a
now
guide-
we- now we
yes,
are.
now we
yeah.
are. So based off the guidance there, that's my recommendation, is including the remote work statement within this job description that provides guidance on how that'll work.
Now, is he an employee of EDC, or is he the employee of the city?
He's an employee of the city. He'll be underneath the city manager, funded through the E EDC.
Any other discussion?
You took the tips. Yeah.
You poll council.
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item is budget workshop, final review.
Final review.
I'm so confident that I didn't even bring my budget papers.
I got my budget papers and forgot the agenda.
You can't remember everything.
That's why what was that number? Right.
I didn't print new documents because where we left off last week was the only changes being made were the way that EDC was being paid, or the director was being paid. So the only amount changed was the admin transfer, and it's a wash.
Was any money put in the budget for the newsletter?
Yes, we did
Yes.
include that for the newsletter.
did.
to put out-
Okay,
to go
and
out
how
quarterly.
many times a year will it be issued?
4 times. We're gonna go back to doing it quarterly. And-
Okay, is that going to be the full newsletter?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason the last one was so small was just because we didn't have it budgeted.
Correct.
So,
All right.
And we did it in a hurry.
And I know a couple other things that we had previously discussed. We did include the marketing funds, a small budget for library as well as EDC, so that we can promote this year as well.
Oh, how much debt is the city in?
It starts with an A.
Yes, that is 8 point, if you look on, well, 8.24,
That sounds right.
on the documents next week with the tax rate information, it has the exact amount. I believe it's 8.24.
Now
It went
that,
from 1.78 million to 8.24.
and that's including all of the things that we have coming up.
That is the water line projects through Texas Water Development Board, which accounts for roughly 3 million of it. And then the bond package for the fire station and civic center and water tower, new water well, or I'm sorry, water storage tanks and water wells. All of that totaled up to the.
No, is that
almost $7
also,
million
oh,
account.
I'm sorry, is
That's
that
fine.
also including the fire wagon?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now when do we start, when does that, we start paying?
We
on
do
that?
not start paying on that until we actually take possession of it. So we're still looking at over a year out. Is that
Okay.
correct?
And we'll see an adjustment there when that happens too, because the plan is to sell the engine that we have, which will have some significant value to allocate back into the payments there. So I
To help offset.
yeah, I don't think we may be able to cover our first year's payment with that truck alone. So
Yay. Yay.
I think that truck will go for a good amount because it's in fairly decent shape.
Any other questions?
Hang on now.
Any comments?
Yes.
Well, come on.
I'm anxious too. Okay, just one thing, not necessarily going to vote on this evening, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention because it's going to be a part of the budget book. This mission statement here, and then if we can look through these core values, and really, if we could pick perhaps 4 or 5 of those to include as the values of the city. Some of them kind of overlap.
Stewardship. Are we picking 5 of them now?
Yes, I would like.
Okay. I'd like to suggest stewardship. Integrity.
Leadership needs to be in there. Integrity.
Innovation.
That definitely.
Yeah.
That's been our last year has been innovation. So and
Yes.
Craig's done a wonderful job of that.
Yes.
So we're getting a lot done and we're getting a lot of bang for our buck. So
Safety and
Yeah, that's what
well-being,
I was thinking, Kelly.
safety and well-being
Mhm,
be
that's
the
5.
5th one.
Okay, so I heard leadership, integrity, stewardship,
Innovation.
innovation, and safety.
Safety and well-being.
Take out results and inclusiveness.
Yeah. Say that again?
Take out results and inclusiveness.
Okay,
Everybody okay with those 5?
Yep.
Yes.
thank you.
Excellent.
I put them all in there.
Did we settle on the property tax rate? We're gonna leave it as is.
Yes, ma'am. That is,
That's what
That's-
was,
that's what's posted for the public hearing next week is no increase on property tax rate.
on the rate. An increase to taxes.
You have anything else, Susan, Craig, on budget? Anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll drop down to number 5, city manager's report.
Just wanted to remind everybody, if you are available, that we do have Rachel's mother's funeral is tomorrow afternoon. I plan on being in attendance there at 1 o'clock at Owens Brumley and something downtown, but I can send out that information if you'd like and would like to attend. Other thing is provided each of you with a copy of the letter that we're supplying to Waste Connections Lone Star,
Yeah.
asking them to please be present at the next city council meeting in September, and also what we discussed about the trash issues that we've been seeing. Other than that, no, sir, I don't have anything else.
All right, item 6, mayor's report. The only thing I have is the evaluations for Craig. We need them in by Friday.
Thank you.
So we actually extended it because there was an issue with the form, and I didn't know Craig was gonna be so quick to fix it, or I would have left it in place. But we've got to have 3 of them, so 4 council members still need to fill them out.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you don't fill them out, then I'm still gonna have you fill one out when you show up at the meeting. Whatever your first meeting, I'm gonna have you fill it out, because that's the only way that Craig's gonna get feedback from the council on the direction we want. And so, I mean, it's a valuable tool, and this one's, this form's a little bit better than the one we've had in the past. So,
We've had some turkeys,
oh, yeah.
not turkey city managers, the forms.
I have
We've had
a
a-
comment. Craig, did you have any information on the COVID? Because I had saw that there had been some deaths in Everman.
There have been, but there is so much misinformation about that. And we typically do not get informed until well after that death has occurred. And I know of one specifically recently
Yeah.
that was reported as a COVID death. That was not a COVID death. So there's the numbers are still very
Well,
skewed.
That can't be the one you're thinking of.
Okay,
Yeah, I will inform council though that COVID-19, there is a significant increase. We are now above the 15%. We're trending upwards. However, our governor is not continuing the emergency declaration, which allows the variance to the Open Meetings Act, which means that we will still have Zoom as an option starting September 1. However, if you join by Zoom, you cannot vote. The laws are very strict that you can still partake in conversation, but you can't vote unless you're physically here as a quorum.
So that means we have to have a quorum in the council chamber.
I don't agree with that, but that's what the law is, and the governor is not continuing that emergency declaration. Whether that changes with the trends statewide continuing up, we'll have to monitor over the next couple of weeks. My hope would be that he issues that in the safety or in the interest of safety, but I don't know that he's going to. It's just, we're just taking it one day at a time at this point. But we will still continue to have the Zoom option indefinitely. I want to continue to broadcast our city council meetings live and through YouTube, so everybody can have access to it, whether they're here in person or online. So that will be a continual effort there. But as far as joining via Zoom, that's just something to keep in mind. As of right now, if you join, you cannot vote. It'll have to be in person because that ends September 1. But I'm working on a whole report regarding COVID-19 because we are seeing an uptick in the number of cases again, countywide. We've surpassed the 15% threshold that was marked down for us to start implementing more stringent requirements. But
I saw in the paper Sunday that they're trying to get more communities to do pop-up clinics. Is that an option we could do?
we have been trying, and Chief Watley can attest to that.
That's what you said, but
Yeah, I forwarded him the email directly from what I sent to TDM and Tarrant County or Texas Public Health and the Army Corps of Engineers.
was that just
We
recently?
tried very hard because we're a qualified census tract, and you see the trends on where the COVID-19 is affecting more residences within qualified census tract, low income areas. So we tried to get one here almost immediately. But we just haven't had much avail because we're a town of 5,000 people and we just kind of got put on the back burner. County took over in conjunction, they just took over, but Tarrant County, along with the Fort Worth Fire Department, really spearheaded the COVID vaccination process and made them available in their sites and didn't really bring in there weren't any other smaller cities that had those options available. It was pretty much the big two cities, Arlington and Fort Worth, that worked on that. Many cities tried, we just couldn't get anything available, but we did try to push out as much education about available vaccines and stuff to our residents of where they were available. while they were doing that, simultaneously, the federal government was working to get these vaccines pushed out to all clinics, CVS, Walgreens, pop-up clinics, doctors' offices, all those kinds of things. So this program was up and running while they were pushing that out. And now it's so widely available that there's nobody giving us a look at letting us do a pop-up clinic. We'd love to host a pop-up clinic inside of our fire station and give out free vaccines. We've wanted to do that from day one. We just can't get the support from the county level or state level to be able to do it.
They have, you have to have the urgency or need and the population to be able to say that this justifies it. As we all know that they only have a certain amount of time that they're viable, they have to be at a certain temperature, et cetera, the ones that are available. So if of our population, based upon the percentage of overall population that's receiving the vaccination, it's too low of a number for them to even put all those proceeds into that. And everything I went down, every avenue I went down is Corps of Engineers, the Department of Public Health, they always select the entities that they're going to do. It's not based on our desire to, because I'm sure that every single entity would want to. They come to you and they say, well, I would like you to provide this. Are you able to? And if they can't, the last opportunity that I found was they actually sent paramedics from Louisville to a smaller city because the smaller city didn't have ample staffing. So they were able to provide staffing for it to provide those shots. I wish we could.
Unfortunately, when they do pop up, we don't hear about it until the last second.
Well, and the one in
Hill.
Forest Hill was done by the Hispanic Coalition of Tarrant County.
Yeah,
So
but
they had
Yeah, Tarrant
countywide
County, though,
support.
was
Yeah.
involved with that.
Yeah, they had countywide support to be able to put that program.
Was there
on.
a good turnout at
The back to school bash.
bash?
I don't know the counts of people how many people went to get the COVID vaccine. I can get those numbers and just kind of give you an idea at the next meeting that we have. But I don't have the count as of right now, but we did have it available. Tarrant County came and we had it available during our back to school bash event.
Thank you.
Well, with that being said, we are adjourned.
Hold on, Mayor. We need to do a picture before you technically adjourn, since council will still be present. I think it's best we don't adjourn until the photo is done, just to make sure we're legal. Sorry.
Really?
We could turn the camera the other way, though.
Yeah, I don't see what the difference is, I was just taking a picture, so.
But we're all still here and we might be talking.
That's right.
God forbid we
right.
say something that we shouldn't.
You take it. You better take it. Do you want to, yeah, is everybody comfortable standing and gathering around the seal so we can get a good photo with the seal in the middle?
Sure, we can get these
Everybody
chairs out of the
comfortable
way.
My uniform.
But Kelly, just we'll kind of get you in the back and hide you a little bit,
Somewhere, yeah, let's shut that down
And Miss Linda, if you
Front
want
of it, or
you want to stand right
Stand
in front of Kelly?
in
stand in
front of
front of it?
Just kind of to either side, maybe 4 on one side, 3 on the other.
Get my trash out of it.
There we go.
You want us facing forward or turned sideways, or what can your camera take?
Y'all turn a little bit this way. Yeah, there you go. Mayor, turn just a tad.
Are we in the
This
right
one?
number order? Yes.
Don't trip.
No.
Hey, y'all got a smile.
No, we don't.
Yes, we did.
Wait.
Wait, don't take it.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
taking several, don't worry.
It's time to get one good one. Amen. Kids remember.
And I've got good editing skills.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Don't say, did you take one? Did you take one? It took two.
Okay, with that being said,
Now we can adjourn.
time is 7:09, we are adjourned.